Y'all, today we need to talk about what might be easily the most tragic thing that has ever happened on Wizard101. If you're like me, or anybody that plays this game, you might have logged on to Wizard101 today and walked into the bazaar to do some bazaar-related activity. But what you might notice when you walk into the bazaar is that the NPC that's normally here, Alex Silverfist, is on vacation. Now, this mysterious disappearance, we're on day 2 of it, so I thought I'd make a video informing y'all about everything that's going on with the situation and what Wiz is doing about it. And this video goes deep, so prepare yourself. Yesterday, right, there was a new update. This was the summer update, and along with all of the other spell changes that they did, they also somehow introduced a gold glitch with that update. People were posting on social media all day, early in the morning yesterday, basically, and it was basically like if you sold any item in the bazaar, you'd be getting a preposterous amount of gold, even if it was a small item. So people that weren't even intending to do this, they were selling cheap-ass items and getting max gold off of it. Obviously, that's a crazy glitch. So Wiz took away the NPCs that you could access the bazaar with and did a patch 2 nights in a row yesterday. Now, there were 2 NPCs affected by this, Alec and Harold. Harold is back, but Alec is still missing even after yesterday's patch. And I'm gonna assume they need more time to resolve whatever this gold glitch is, but that has not stopped people from speculating. Some people have speculated that Alec's disappearance has to be foul play. They're blaming a murderer. Other people did spot some wizards taking over the now empty bazaar and attempting to turn it into a McDonald's. This could be some kind of corporate lobbying, some corporate interests at play, you know, like maybe the bazaar, because of its central location, maybe it is a prime spot for a McDonald's. This could be something behind the scenes that's being done in order to retake the bazaar. Some people even dug into Alec's past and started connecting the dots between him and the person that Alex Edge and Colossus Boulevard is named after. There's a post from 2008, and apparently there used to be a person named Alec who was stealing things from the shopping district, and eventually when they were caught, they jumped off of Alex Edge, never to be seen again. Some people are speculating that Alec from the Alex Edge and Alex Silverfist are the same person. His past is finally caught up. Maybe he's running away from the law, who knows, but the most likely scenario is that this gold glitch will be resolved soon and Alec will be back in after the next patch. Now let's talk about how Wizard101 has handled this, right? The day that this happened, there was basically a couple of announcements made in the Wizard101 Discord. They said they were aware of the issue, and until they could resolve it, both Harold and Alec would be inaccessible. Quite a few people had a problem specifically with Harold not being accessible, even though he was tied to the bazaar, because a lot of people buy TCs from him to do the decathlon event. If y'all don't know how decathlon works, because I don't blame you, not everyone does this, decathlon decks only allow you to use treasure cards, and generally the strategies for doing decathlon involve buying a bunch of treasure cards of the opposite school of the decathlon, and most of them are sold by Harold. The other severe issue is that Harold Argleston, the NPC in the Wizard City Library, is also involved in some main storyline quests. So for a full day, especially people that were very, very early on in the game, couldn't progress. So I think they were prioritizing that issue to be resolved first. I'm gonna assume they just brought back Harold and then prevented the ability to access a bazaar from Harold. I think that's what they did. Now, if you're a broke boy like me, low-key, I opened up my gold, thought it would say like less than, I don't know what happened. Maybe this isn't that broke, bro. But if you're a broke boy like me normally, you're probably wondering, what about all these people that ended up with a bunch of gold as a result of this glitch, right? Especially the people, you know, like maybe it wasn't just accidental. Maybe they sold a bunch of items on a bunch of wizards. A couple of things seem to have happened. They have chosen, it seems anyways, to not do a rollback. And if y'all are unfamiliar with how rollbacks work in general, basically it just means that, like, you know, you set the time period of the gold anyways to before the glitch would have happened. The people that got max gold when they wouldn't have, they probably would have been back to their normal gold, but it seems like they did not do a rollback, meaning I think people just ended up with free gold if they were in the right place at the right time. Some people were worried that, you know, like, especially if it was more accidental, like, could you be punished for this? I'm gonna be so real with y'all. I feel like this falls squarely in the category of a glitch, or even an exploit if you want to use that word, that the player couldn't possibly know would have happened, right? If you need gold, the first place you go is into the bazaar. You're gonna end up selling stuff like very easily. After the first item, yeah, you might notice, oh, I sold for too much, but by then it's too late. You're already at max gold. Could you make the argument that someone that was aware of the glitch might have taken advantage of it way too irresponsibly if they did it on multiple wizards? Sure. But even at that point, we're talking about gold. It's not really that crazy of a commodity. This to me is very, very similar to any other glitch that gives gold, and Wiz doesn't really tend to roll back or punish for exploiting when it comes to those. Even if they were to, I think this is one of those things very squarely. It's a glitch that the player could never have seen coming. I don't think anyone should be getting punished for this. And because they're not treating it to the point where, you know, like they're even doing a rollback for it, I think the net result of this, some people have ended up with free gold. They have no need to use a bazaar for a little bit. This is now like, you know, multiple updates in a row where I feel like some sort of glitch is a little bit, you know, expected and normal. And that is an interesting point that I did want to bring up in this video. Right, once the spring update came out, right, the aura shads didn't work, the Scion Spellman glitch happened where you were losing Spellmans left and right. When the Selenopolis update came out, there were some serious issues with the actual launcher, which, like, literally, some people, like me, we couldn't even log into the game. I think the big one that's also, like, super salient right now is the real crazy nonsense that happened with Portal of Peril the last time that we did have Portal of Peril. Right, it was glitched when an update went live, then they took it down for a patch and then brought it back. It was still glitched, and then they had to put out an announcement saying that it's so glitched that they're probably gonna have to like start over with it. Right, these are things that are of recent memory, so I do think, you know, that's an idea that we need to talk about when it comes to these updates coming out with glitches. But compared to those, I feel like they were able to fix the worst part of the glitch, which was the quest blocker from Herald, literally day one. I think they were communicating pretty well on Discord. I'm wondering if the new normal is when an update drops, you expect something stupid to happen, but at least maybe they have the resources to deal with it a little bit more quickly. I still think there should be compensation that's involved in a lot of this stuff, right? Especially if you're trying to do decathlon and you missed out on runs. This is something that, I mean, at least it was a one-day thing, but even something small, I think, like, you know, maybe 10 free points in the decathlon event or something, maybe, I don't know, something like that would be cool. Or maybe even like a couple of extra credits to run extra stuff, because, you know, maybe now you have to reallocate your time with the decathlon event. Maybe something like that, something a little, like, you know, complimentary. I think it could be cool. But I'll say this, compared to how we've seen glitches work, especially blockers in general, we've seen, like, the Avalon glitch literally stay in there for a week, like you couldn't progress past that area, right? We've seen worse things in the game for a little bit longer. I'm really happy with the way they're dealing with this. Hopefully Alec will be back soon. If he is back tonight, that means that would be 3 maintenances in 3 nights. Not sure if that's gonna happen or not, but I'm sure he's gonna be back either by the end of the week or early next week. Let me know what you guys think of all the theories surrounding Alec's mysterious disappearance and how Wizard101 is handling the glitches that seem to be happening here and there. Do y'all think this is better than usual? Do you think it's worse than usual? I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. And as always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome, y'all. See y'all soon. And yeah.